Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm your host, Cameron, and welcome to the second part in my Five Nights at Freddy's Clickteam tutorial series on how to make a Five Nights at Freddy's fan game. I probably said that all wrong, but we are currently on part 2, which all we're going to do in this tutorial is make a proper loading screen, because in the last episode, we just made a new frame for the loading screen, but we never added anything in. And then from the loading screen, we're going to make it load into our night 1. And speaking of which, in our night 1, all we're going to be doing is just making a kind of scroll. That's pretty much it. Just like scrolling left and right type mechanic. So, welcome back. Obviously, if you open this for the first time following along with me, just go over to recent. There should only be one tab open, which I named mine Five Nights at Freddy's, but you could have named yours anything. Just load that up, and we're going to go right to loading. And here we are, blank frame. Oh yeah, also guys, I'm kind of recording this late at night, so if I start saying some random shit or whatever, you know why. I might have to honestly re-record this, but if this goes splendid then, or smoothly enough, then I'll probably keep it. But here we are in our loading, and we're just gonna add some loading text, and that's pretty much it. So we're gonna right-click, insert object, inactive, okay? This is just gonna be our background again, so just rename it background. It's going to be black again, just plain black background. Or you could do anything. I did not mean to do that. Okay, clear it. Go over to resize. 1280 by 720, or whatever the size of your game is. Apply. Fill tool. Go over to the color black and fill it in. Press OK. Here we are. I'm going to align in frame, horizontal center, align in frame, vertical center. It's all good now. I'm going to go over to my layers toolbar now, and we're going to add a string over our black background, which is just going to be called loading. It's pretty simple. So go over to layers toolbar, new layer, layer 2. I'm also going to be kind of going a little quicker this time because this really isn't too bad. So insert object, string, okay, put it out here, rename this to loading text. Nice. I'm just gonna resize this to terminal, and just 36 or 35. Yeah, pretty much. Resize this. Nice. Gonna white. I'm gonna center align this and just type in loading. Good. And I'm gonna right click on it. And because I kind of want it to be centered, so I'm going to right click, align in frame, vertical center. And just to make sure, align in frame, horizontal center. Okay, perfect. Now we have our loading. So if we go back, if we press run application, it'll take us right to our menu. We press new game, and it takes us right to our loading, where we can see just the word loading. So now from here, what we want to do is we want to make a timer that basically says after a certain amount of time, we get taken to another frame, which is our night 1. And speaking of which, we might as well just do that right now. So just right click on your application. Once again, it's just the word next to the lightning bolt. Right click on that and press new frame. And we're just going to title this night 1. Good. We're not going to mess with night 1 for right now. Go back to your loading. Go up to Event Editor, which is once again the checkerboard with the blue and gray squares all over it. Left click that, or press Control-E. And what we are going to do is, we are going to go, I guess we're going to do this real quick. So, go over to your number 1. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to do this just for time's sake and whatever. Right click on that, insert group of events. We're going to just title this timer. Good. We're going to go over to new condition, which should be the 2 right here. Press new condition. Go over to this kind of horse and checkerboard or chessboard or whatever it is. Storyboard controls is what it's called. Left click on that and press start a frame. Perfect. After you've done that, go over to your clock timer thing, which is just called the timer. Right click on that and then set timer. Or, no. Fire event after given delay. So, start a frame, we're going to fire event after a given delay. Click on that. You can make it how long how long it is, or how long you want it to be. I'm gonna make my loading screen like 5 seconds. Feels pretty round number. Just, you know what I mean. After you type it in, press OK. And now, what we want to do is we want to name our event. Now, how this works is, basically, we want to name this to just something that kind of relates to loading the next frame. So we're gonna title this like we're just gonna title this Jump to Frame. Now here's the thing though, you want to make sure that you have these little quotation symbols at the beginning and end of your word or your given delay, because if you don't, then it's just gonna say syntax error and it's not gonna work. So just put quotation marks at the beginning and the end of your word. You can title it whatever you want. But the next step I want you guys to do is, I actually want you to copy your code. So just copy the jump to frame, which just press Control C. Perfect. Press OK. And now what we want to do is go over to new condition, click on it, go over to the timer, and go to on event. And then just paste in your jump to frame code. Now, you can type in jump to frame or whatever you typed in from the code over here, but the thing is, you want to exactly copy the word in this little bank over to the on event, code. I don't know why, it's case sensitive too, so I don't really like to type it in again, just type in whatever I typed in again. So I just like to go over it and copy and then just go over to new condition, timer, on event, and then just paste it right there. Or you can just type in jump to frame, just if you want to type it in instead. Press OK. And now what this will do is, when the frame loads in, after 5 seconds, then we're gonna go over to the night 1. So if I did this correctly, we're going to right click on storyboard controls and go to jump to frame and then night 1. Perfect. So we're gonna press run application. Remember, do not press run frame because it'll only load this frame and it will never load in the next one. So just run application, go to new game, and then after 5 seconds in this little menu, there should be a white canvas, right? Exactly. So, after 5 seconds, it loads us right into our night 1. Obviously, you can't see anything in our night 1 because we didn't add anything in. But there you go. Loading's complete. So now that that's done, let's go straight over to our night 1, because we know that you can go from the menu to loading to night 1. So here we are in night 1. Now, all we're going to do is, we're going to add in our office design, whatever, just office cabin design. And we're going to add in an active tool that will follow our mouse around, which will then just kind of go back and forth into our office. Now, before we do anything, be sure to click on your night 1 frame and go down to size. This is going to be very important. So, in order for this to really work, you want to make your current frame bigger than your actual application so we can actually scroll around, because if you make the actual application 1280 by 720 and your office design 1280 by 720 in resolution, however you draw it, it won't scroll anything because it's the exact same size. So let's change the size of this frame to 1400. Now this also goes along with your office design. Make sure your office design is 1400 by 720 if you are running a 1280 by 720 game, so the scrolling can actually work. And if you have any different application, just make your night 1 frame a little bigger than your actual game resolution. Got it? I know it sounds a little confusing, but this whole engine's a little confusing when you first learn it. So after you've done this, you should see this little line here. What this means is, from here, actually I'm gonna activate draw mode so you guys can see this. I think this works, right? Yeah. So from here to all the way over here, this is what the player can see. But if we added more code, you're able to go left and right, and you're able to see this part of the frame. And then, obviously, the frame will go alongside how big your application is. And to do this, we're just going to add in our office design. So, I'll just show you from there. So, right-click, insert object, active, okay? Press into it. And we're just going to rename this office. Good. We're going to double-click into it. And we're going to import our own office design. Now, how I laid this out is, I have four office designs. Four different office designs. So, one frame, has absolutely no lights in it. Has 0 lights in it. You can't see in the hallways at all. Press new frame. Go over. And now you want to add a frame that only has your left hallway lit. So, this will come into play later when I accidentally imported as animation. But this will come into play later when we're messing with door buttons and door lights and stuff like that. So do not import as animation. New frame, go over here, and then go office, left hallway lit only. You want to do this one by one too. You want to make sure that you have separate frames for every single scenario where you're in. So in this scenario, none of our lights are lit in the hallways. In this scenario, only our left light is lit in the hallway. We're going to add in another frame, and we're going to make our right hallway lit only. You see what I mean here? Because this will come into play with different light buttons and stuff. And then you want to add in another frame that has just both hallways lit. This will come into play, obviously, when, actually, I don't think it will, but we're just going to add this in anyway, just in case. But basically, these are pretty much the only 3 frames you're going to need. And in fact, I think I'm actually just going to get rid of frame 4. You don't need to have this kind of frame. But basically, what you want to have is, you want to insert 3 different frames. One with no hallways lit, one with only one hallway lit, and the other with only with the other hallway lit. Not both, though, because obviously in FNaF 1, you can't have both light buttons on at the same time. It's just not how it works. Now, obviously, if you have the game to be like, oh, I can have both door buttons down, then you can add what I just added in. But this is how it's supposed to work. So, press OK, and just align this into the frame, horizontal center, and vertical center. And as you can see, it fits perfectly into our frame because the office resolution is 1400 by 720, and the frame resolution is 1400 by 720. So, after we got all that done, go over to these, well, actually, to show you guys this, once again, like I said before, this is the only part the player can only see for right now. We're gonna go in and add more, but this is only what the player can see. So, if I load the frame, as you can see, we cannot see our right door. That's because, like I said before, this is the only thing you're seeing. You're only seeing a 1280 by 720 view when the actual resolution of the frame is 1400 by 720. So get out of that, and now we're going to go into our coding section. So this is pretty much the biggest code we've done so far, but it's really not that big of a code at all. But we're going to go over to one. You don't have to do this, but this is just so I can lay it out perfectly. Insert a group of events. We're going to title it Scrollings. Just Scrollings. And actually what we're going to do is, since you've done that, go back to your frame. I don't think I showed you guys this in the last episode, but this little frame editor kind of looks like a book. It's right next to the event editor, which is a, once again, a checkerboard, chessboard, whatever. Just click this to go back. I don't think I ever showed that in the last episode. Sorry, my bad. But you guys should know that. And we're gonna add in 2 active objects. So we're gonna make one active, and we're gonna title this follow mouse. Good. And we're gonna add in another active, and this one is going to be called bouncing ball. And you'll see why in a sec. So from here, we're gonna have both these down here. What this is going to do is, this bouncing ball is going to follow our mouse, which will let us scroll around our office. But of course, to do that, we need to actually set the effect of our bouncing ball to, you guessed it, bouncing ball. So the first thing you're going to do is be sure you clicked on your bouncing ball, go down here, and go to this little running guy, which is called the movement tab. Go here and go over to type. Right now it should say static, movement number 1, I think it says, and under that is type. And then right now our type is static with a little stop sign symbol next to it. But we want to click into static, and I know this looks a little confusing, but right under static, we want to go all the way up here where it says static, go under it and press bouncing ball. That's all we're doing. That's all we're doing. Now you can change the speed of your bouncing ball right down here, which will just make it how fast you can scroll around the office. So I think I'm going to go with 85. I don't know the max speed it can go. I'm guessing it's just going to be 255, like the whole collision thing or whatever that we did in the last episode, or what was it called? Blending coefficient. That was it. Okay. So after you got that, go right back up to the checkerboard, and now let's go to new condition, which should be under scrollings, which should be the number 2. Press that. Go over to this little gear where it says special, and go always. And what we want to do is we want to go over to our follow mouse, which should be this one. They're pretty identical, but just scroll over to see what name it is. So go over to follow mouse, right click this, go over to position, select Y coordinate, and just type in X mouse. You'll see why in a second. And then go right click again on the same check mark. You're able to right click on the same check mark and add another code to it. Just wanted to get that out there. Just want to make sure you guys got that. Right click that, go over to position, set Y coordinate to Y mouse. Now what this will do is, if I run the frame, this should just follow my frame. And as you can see, our bouncing ball just kind of went out of frame. Don't worry about that for now, but as you can see, this is following us now. Now, as you guys saw from that bouncing ball, if you looked pretty close enough, that bouncing ball went way out of proportion. So we don't really know what happened to it, but it just kind of disappeared. Next step I want you guys to do is go over to your bouncing ball, right click on that, and go to direction, look in the direction of, and then just select your follow mouse. Now, the reason we even made a follow mouse is, or actually let's take a step back. So this is your kind of thing where you can click around and just set what position it is or where it's going to look at. We want it to look at our we want to make it follow our follow mouse, which should just be this little active thing right here. Additionally, what you can do is you can go over to relative to, and then just select your follow mouse. And then as soon as it selects the follow mouse, it'll say relative to follow mouse. Press OK, and now this will follow our follow mouse. And then as soon as you run the frame, this should happen. So if this doesn't happen, look over the code, go back a few seconds, but basically this little rhombus back here should be following my other rhombus, which is on my mouse. I think I should make it a little more discreet about which one it is, because they're identical. So I'm just going to expand this. You don't have to expand it, but I'm going to expand it. It's big, it's goofy, it's long. So we got that working, and now it looks hella scary now. Nice. So we're going to do that. We're going to go back to our chess piece event editor. Not chess piece. We're going to go over to the chess thing over here. Make sure it's in the same frame or the same code line as always. Right click and go to frame, I think it is. No, go over to oh wait, no, I'm not stupid. Okay, we're gonna do a rerun. So right click on storyboard controls. I should really do like a practice run before this so I know what I'm talking about. Go down to scrollings, go center window position and frame, and just press and just go over to your bouncing ball and just click on it. That, or you can just go relative to bouncing ball, which is now a skinny little active tool. Got that? Perfect. So now what it should do is the scrolling should 100% work now, because all we're really doing now is that once this goes towards our follow mouse, the position of the frame will change, right? So we're over here right now, and as you can see, we can look around. Because, like I said before, our frame is 128 by 720. Oh no, our frame is 1400 by 720 when our actual game is 1280 by 720. So that allows us to do this. Pretty cool, huh? That's a little white out there. I don't know what's going on there. I mean, it's perfectly. I don't know. Just that's it, really. That's all it is for the scrolling. How long have I been recording for? About 22 minutes. So yeah, that is basically all of the tutorial. Really, all we were doing was, I'm just gonna do this real quick. All we were doing is we're just making sure you can scroll around the office. I guess the only thing now is that we want to get rid of these because we don't want these in our game forever. So we're just gonna go select these all. Once again, to select them all, or not select them all, but just if you want to select or multi-select, just hold shift, press follow mouse, keep holding shift and press bouncing ball, and you can just hold all that. Go over to your display options, go over to blend coefficient, and just type in 255. So now they're invisible, but the game should work, right? Yep, works perfectly fine. So that's going to be it for the tutorial. Hopefully you enjoyed watching. This is just a very simple tutorial that I wanted to teach because obviously you want to be able to scroll around your office and stuff. I don't know still what's going on with this little white square, but it's fine. I don't really think it's something to worry about. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more, let me know in the comment section down below. Like, subscribe, do all that fun jazz, and I will see you guys in the next episode. See you guys.